What's going on, friends, family, colleagues? It's Brock Adley here. I am a local agent working as your real estate consultant. I also operate as an owner's representative for construction folks. If you're interested in more of that, there's some other videos you can look at to test my construction knowledge. That being said, I'm coming to you today with the January 2025 update of Boise, Idaho, specifically Ada County. If you don't know your geography, we're in the southwestern portion of the great state of Idaho. Come visit us if you've never been. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. That being said, I sent out a market update real quickly in one of my Instagram stories, and some folks have asked some deeper questions on what exactly I did to collect the information. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you today using the MLS. As an agent, I have a lot of resources at my disposal to be able to analyze this information and share it with you. So what I did is I started 2022 and the rates are around 3.5% national average. Got that information off of Yahoo Finance. I'll put a link somewhere for you. And then I worked my way all the way to 2025 where we currently are. Rate climate's around a 7. Again, national average. And they made a projection of where our median home values are going to be if the rates don't change at all, which I don't foresee happening. But I don't have a crystal ball, and any agent that tells you that they do know where the rates are going, they may not know what they're talking about. Just my thoughts. I don't know. You may agree. I don't know. Anyhow, so we'll dive into the MLS and I'll show you what I mean. So here we are. Here's my MLS home screen. Quickly, I'll show you the status that I grabbed from. So I just used sold data locally. Again, Ada County only. Removed unpublished sold, and then remove zero sold price. I don't want a lot of chicanery in my data collecting. And the sold data is something that is memorialized in stone. So it has the ability to be more consistent with this particular activity in giving us the data we are looking for. Type. So the product type's really important. We do not want to add mobile homes. We do not want to add timeshares. We do not want recreational land. That left us with condos, single family homes, and townhomes, which is the sample we are looking for. Ada County, of course, that's where we live. That's where I live. That's the data I'm providing you. And then the close date. The closing date's really important because I'm grabbing just data from January 1 to January 30 of 2025, 24, 23, 22. So we have a standard to keep, and we want to make sure we have a benchmark that doesn't change so we can analyze the data more efficiently. So starting with 2022, January 1, all the way to 2022, January 30, okay? So up here in the upper right corner, you'll see that 647 homes closed locally in Ada County for that month. So we'll go in here and we'll analyze what that means in greater detail. So here, this top bar is aggregating all the information below, which is the 647 total closed properties for that month. You'll look here, the median days on market is really important to note. I'm showing 17. And then the sold price median home value, 525, is also very good to note. Reason why I'm using the median is because that is the middle. It's not an average, okay? If your agents are using the word average, it's not very helpful in you analyzing the information for your best interests moving forward because, again, the agent's not living in the house, you are, so it's really important that you understand this data and ask the informed questions accordingly, okay? So that's the information. now I will show you how it ended up in my spreadsheet, right? So 2022, 647 closed, national average rate 3.5. Okay, that's when things were cheap to finance. Median value, I got you here. We didn't run a delta value relative to 2021 because it doesn't really matter for this particular activity, in my opinion, because we want to analyze the rate changes here in column F moving forward. So we went from a 3.5 average to a 7.3 average in 2023. So that's a pretty significant jump. And because of that jump, our delta was a negative 9% change in median home values for the year. Okay, so math's up here if you want to do a little check. And then we have the median home value jump from 17 days on market to 49. And again, in the J column, which is kind of ancillary information, but I always think it's interesting to know how many new home constructions were of the total sold for that year. So in 2022, nearly 200 new construction came on of the 647 closed properties. Okay, so I'm not going to take you through all of the data collecting, but that was my logic moving forward for 23, 24, 25, and then we made our projection here in orange for 2026. So what's really, really interesting is as the rates have stagnated around 7% since 2023, our property values from a median home value perspective have inched upward by an average of 4.42% for 2022 and 2025. Okay, I've taken that data and I've ran that against the previous year because our constant of the rate, we're just assuming it doesn't change, we're still seeing a projection of a 4.42% increase in median home values relative to the same interest rate. Okay, so what that means is here locally in Ada County, we have hit the floor of the market. You know, a lot of folks are sitting at home and they're thinking, well, you know, we're waiting for a correction, we're waiting to time the market out right, and you're welcome to do that. But objectively, I'm showing less inventory coming on, which is keeping our values high. So we have less inventory and more people wanting to live here relative to the 7% interest rate you're probably going to get quoted, maybe a 6.5 if you're lucky, right? And we're still seeing a 4% increase in value. So if you're sitting at home waiting for some significant dip or change in valuation here locally, it may not happen. And the biggest reason for that is like we as a nation have been underserved as far as inventory for new homes. So there's more people entering the market to buy a home, and the amount of homes available are relatively stagnant. You know, showing in my new construction column here in J, I mean, 175 units for 2025 coming on relative to the 427 units that were sold. You know, that's, you know, not earth shattering, right? So similarly, new construction, they're affected by the rate climate as well. So they're only going to release as much product as they can to make sure they maintain their profit margins, right? So there's that piece. And then locally in Idaho, we struggle finding the labor to put the product in place. So that's been a big change of recent, especially with Micron going in here locally, and then we have Meta showing up. So we have a little bit of industry uptick, and because of that, we have less trades available to do the work. Okay, so I hope this information is valuable to you. I hope that you can use this to be more informed when it comes to making your next real estate move. And like I said, I work in the residential space, investment properties, construction management, and project management. So if you have a question regarding this particular item or any other thing pertaining to real estate or construction, please put it in the comments or send me a message directly, and I'll be happy to satisfy any questions you have. All right? Happy January. Keep it real.